Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and I am back with another quick DIY video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to remove caulk from a toilet base. This is a quick and easy project, so let's get started. First, I started by cleaning the toilet and the area around the toilet with an all-purpose cleaner just to make it more sanitary and easier for me to work there. Then I was ready to get started. Whenever I remove caulking anywhere in my house, I tend to use a utility knife, also called a box knife, but you can also use a putty knife or something similar for removing caulking around a toilet. Even something like my paintbrush scraper you see here can do a pretty good job of scraping away the old caulking. Using whichever tool you have, I first start out by trying to break the connection between the caulking and the flooring. I have porcelain tile in my bathroom, so as long as I'm careful, it's going to be pretty hard for a utility knife to damage that. That utility knife is pretty safe around porcelain, as long as I'm holding that knife at an angle and it's not directly pointed into the tile. But if you have something like a linoleum floor in your bathroom or a hardwood flooring in your bathroom, you want to be really careful with whatever tool you're using because it is a softer material that can be damaged. You're going to see that it's pretty easy to remove the caulking around my toilet because this is 100% silicone caulking. So this is the caulking I always recommend people use around a toilet because it is the best at resisting molding and yellowing from urine stains. If the caulking around your toilet is older or it wasn't 100% silicone, it might be crumbling away in little bits and pieces. So you're just going to have to work at it. Once you've broken that connection between the caulking and the flooring with your utility knife or whatever putty knife you're using, you can move to removing the connection between the caulking and the toilet. So it works exactly the same way. You kind of hold it at an angle and break that connection. People often ask if you have to remove all of the caulking before you apply new caulking. It is really important to get all of the caulking out. So you're going to work at that joint underneath the toilet, between the toilet and the flooring, to make sure there's not any caulking hiding underneath there, because the new caulking is going to have a hard time sticking to the old caulking. So it could make you have a weak connection in that area and your caulking will just start peeling off again. So take your utility knife or your putty knife and really get into that joint underneath there. Now there is going to be little bits of caulking left behind on the toilet and the flooring. You can keep scraping at it, but to get all of it off, the best thing to do is to use a non-scratch scrubbing pad to scrub it away. I didn't have a non-scratch scrubbing pad on hand, so I'm using rubbing alcohol with a toothbrush. So rubbing alcohol is great at removing silicone. There aren't that many products that you can actually safely use to remove silicone in your house on all types of surfaces. Some people like to use mineral spirits indoors too, but that doesn't really work for all types of flooring. So I stick with rubbing alcohol or just water and a non-scratch scrubbing pad when I can. If you are applying new caulking around your toilet after doing this, you will need to use rubbing alcohol eventually just to make sure you're removing all the residue and oils before applying the new caulking. I'll show you at the end a quick look at how to apply new caulking around your toilet, but first let's stick to removing the old caulking around your toilet base. Another thing I like about using rubbing alcohol in this case is that it evaporates without leaving any residue behind. Like I said before, you don't want to have any residue left behind because it can break the bond between your new caulking and the porcelain toilet or the flooring. If you decide to use another cleaner like a dish soap mixed with water or an all-purpose cleaner to remove some of that residue or that caulking residue, you should still follow up with rubbing alcohol because again, it's going to be removing any residue left behind before you apply new caulking. Also, be careful with the amount of liquid that you use now that the caulking has been removed because any fluids that you get around that area could get underneath the toilet and be trapped there, causing mold, mildew, damage to your flooring, etc. So again, be careful now that the caulking is gone. That's pretty much it for everything you need to know about how to remove the old caulking around your toilet base. Here's a quick overview of how I install caulking around a toilet and my favorite caulking product to use. Here's my easy steps for caulking a toilet. The first thing I did was clean this toilet and all around the toilet completely with just a normal all-purpose cleaner. Next up, you're going to degrease the area where the caulking is going to go with rubbing alcohol on a cotton pad. Just get it in there really good and then dry the area. Now it's time for the caulking. I love this GE Advanced Silicone caulking. It is great for resisting yellowing around the base of your toilet. You know what I'm talking about. I also use this caulking behind my sinks. Apply the caulking around the base of your toilet. You can work in sections if that's easier for you. Have a wet rag handy to wipe away excess caulking so that it's not left behind on the toilet or the floor. It is hard to remove after it dries, so make sure it looks really nice before you let it dry. I find that it's easier to use my finger to smooth the caulking and then use the rag to carefully wipe away any excess that might be on the toilet or the floor. If you accidentally removed too much caulking or didn't put enough in the first time, you can always go back with a second pass of caulking in the same area. Just take your time, you'll eventually get there. This is a great place to start for anyone new to caulking. If you want to see any of my other caulking videos, I'll put a link in the description. Good luck, guys!